a good friend of mine and a co-author of many of my papers. So I'm very happy to have him here with us today. Please welcome to the stage Maximilian Braun from InnoMarks.
Thank you for the introduction, Jan, and thank you for having me or having us here. My name is Maximilian Braun. I'm coming from a company called InnoMarks. What is InnoMarks about? What are we about? What are we talking about today? Today we are talking about unlocking unstructured data. So what we want to do today or in the next 20 minutes is that we want to apply AI. I want to show you some products or one product to automate logistics operations with the help of AI, built on AI. If you talk to us, if you talk to me, please call me by my first name, especially the first 3 letters would be appropriate. So for all the conversations, just use Max. What is InnoMarks about? At the early stage of 2022, we discussed a few ideas. How to incorporate AI into business processes. How to seamlessly incorporate AI into business processes. So we discussed back and forth, and to be honest, by the end of 2022, with the publication of ChatGPT, this was the spark to light the fire. We discussed how to build products, how to build market-ready software to deliver real-world value. So during the course of 2023, we implemented a lot of code, we deleted a lot of code, and during the course of 2024, we figured out to implement 2 products. And we got to the market with 2 products. I'm talking about 4 people, it's me and 3 colleagues. We are 4 tech nerds, so we are basically software engineers, and we're connected by friendship. And what our real goal is, or our strategy is, to build user-friendly and intelligent apps. So we want to provide real products which deliver real-world value for real-world problems and real-world companies. So we are not about the Gen AI hype, we're not the next ChatGPT startup, buzzword bingo, LinkedIn posting startup. We want to deliver real-world products. Let's start off with the problem we are talking about today, or I will talk about today. I'm going to talk about the daily data drain. So we're talking about manual entries from unstructured data. If you think about logistics, or if you think about your employees, you will come to the conclusion so that especially your white-collar workers all have an email inbox. So everybody of your white-collar workers is able to send emails back and forth to other parties, to customers, to maybe other companies. And the problem is that these emails are not only containing an email body, but they are also containing attachments. They are containing attachments of various file formats. We all know that logistics runs on a diverse set of documents. So I brought you some examples from transport orders, invoices, packaging lists, and AWBs. And all these things can be attached via email. So if we take a look on the right side, I brought to you some examples. We go from the top to the bottom. We can talk about the easiest things like text, PDF, or scanned documents like JPEGs, but we can also talk about all the Office formats. So we are talking PowerPoints, we are talking Excel files, we are talking Word documents, and we are also not talking the file types you know or you're currently dealing with, such as the extensions docx or XLSX. We are also talking about file types which had the end of lifetime in 2002. So within our projects, we met a lot of people, we met a lot of companies who are still using doc and XLS files. They are not supported, they are not really nice to deal with, but they are part of everyday's work. And the problem there is that the critical data we need for our upcoming processes, we need for our information flow, is locked inside the email body and the attachments. So there has to be a manual process, which is very time consuming, which is prone to human errors, and which is a bottleneck regarding time, because somebody has to open all these attachments. Somebody has to open the email, scan for all the information, and by the burst, copy and paste it to another system. And that's what we want to deal with AI. Now you might ask, why can't we use generic AI? Why do I need InnoMarks? Why do I need their product? Why do they even care about? We care about because simple LLMs are powerful. They have a very good general language understanding, but they really don't understand logistics. So if you take a look on the right side, I brought to you a simple dialogue. It's just consisting of 3 emails without attachments. It's a procurement manager who writes emails with a senior logistics coordinator, and they are talking about a shipment. The shipment is consisting of 35 pallets of smartphones and 3 cartons of wireless headsets. The procurement manager thinks that a 20-foot dry container would be appropriate and sends this email to the contact he knows at the future logistics company. The answer is very simple. Based on the volume, our senior logistics coordinator is recommending a 40 HQ, so a 40 high cubic container. And in the last excerpt of our dialogue, our procurement manager is accepting the offer. He says 40 HQ sounds good, let's go ahead with that. And he already mentions that the delivery should take in the first half of May, so between the 1st and the 15th. And he delivers a reference. The internal reference or the purchase order number is X9 point blah, 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 blah. So, and while the LLMs, the generic LLMs are very powerful, they often lack precision in this case, because they don't really understand our abbreviations, our jargon. They don't really understand 40 HQ. On the other side of things, it is very critical to interpret the semantic relevant fields. And that's something they are really bad at. Because of that, we took a step back, looked at all the LLMs, looked at all the solutions available, and made up our minds how to get this working. How to get things better and how to get the accuracy to a certain point where it really helps our customers to simplify the processes, to save time, and to make fewer mistakes. That's why we came up with a product called InnoFlow. You can see on the right side an excerpt from our software. I took the dialogue and pasted it into our software and wanted to receive a result. And just think back, we're just talking about an email body, very short conversation, 3 emails back and forth, no attachments. And what we get as a result is a structured JSON or a structured manner, which contains all the information we need to go on with our processes. So let's get started from the top. We identified a shipment. We identified the container type. If we just think back, they argued about a container, and the word container or the keyword just appeared once, and it appeared in the context of the 20-foot dry container, so in the wrong context. But we, as InnoFlow, we recognized that we at the end agreed on a 40 HQ container. Then we split up our packing lines. On the one hand side, we have the smartphones, 35 pallets, and on the other hand, we have 3 cartons of wireless headphones. And what we read between the lines, which was not explicitly shown there, is that we're talking about battery containing products. So if you think about a smartphone, it's powered by a battery, and a battery is a dangerous good. So what we set here automatically is the dangerous goods flags, because we know that battery-driven devices are dangerous goods. What we also did, we matched the terminology reference to our PO number, purchase order number. So what you find as a PO number is the reference the customer gave us. The delivery window, first half of May, was split into 2 dates, the start date and the end date. And at the end, we have the parties which are extracted from the email signatures. So everything which was standing below the email text. How did we achieve this? We built purpose-built AI models trained off thousands of documents because we don't want to understand only the language. We want to understand the structure and the semantic behind our text. So we want to identify and interpret all the key fields from start to the end, and we don't want to misinterpret anything you throw at us. So everything will be consistent and will be interpreted as the same. You know it from 2 days ago, half a year ago, or even later in the past. And what we deliver is clean, structured, and validated output. Because we want the following software to use all the data we gave you and to trigger all the processes which follow up. Seamlessly integrated without any manual labor. Just as an overview, I showed you 3 text messages and we provided a data structure. A very simple form of what InnoFlow does. And now imagine the things I told you before. It's not just about the email body, it's also about the attachments. So let's spice this a bit up. I added a packaging list as an Excel file. Excel file is always, it's written by the name, it consists of tables. And therefore we have a table with some measurements, with some weights, with some totals, and all this has to be interpreted because this is really important for the following processes. So this is the first attachment which could be given. The second attachment could be a PDF file. It could be an invoice. The invoice shares with us information about currency, about totals, about Incoterms, what to use, and this is all information we might also add up to our data model. The last thing could be scanned documents, or it also could be a lot of the signatures beyond the emails are written as JPEGs, so as pictures. But we need this information. So we have 3 different documents, 3 different attachments. We all have to read this, we have to combine it to the email body, and then we have to extract the information we need. What I want to tell you is that we are not only doing what you saw in the simple example, we do a lot more. So we take everything you've thrown at us, we crawl your inbox, we go through all the emails, then we open all the emails, we open the text body, we open the attachments, we combine everything together, and then we look for all the information you want to know in the future. To be honest, extraction is nice, and accurate extraction like we do is very, very nice. But seamless and semantic integration unlocks the true value. So if you really want to participate from our solution, you should integrate it right into Lobster. And there's where the magic happens. We directly plug into the data model, the data world, because we use the canonical data model to empower your systems. So if you take a look on the left side, we take all your emails, we take all your information, all your attachments, we mix it up, we extract the information via InnoFlow. That reminds me that we need a dedicated icon for InnoFlow. And then we take all the things and push it to Lobster. And that's where the magic happens. Because as a Lobster data partner, we directly plug into the Lobster data world. You don't have any overhead. You don't need any APIs, you don't need any programming. We deliver the extracted data exactly mapped to Lobster's data model. And then the semantic layer can be activated, and all the solutions and all the things you heard before and you will hear are then or could be triggered by the incoming data, because it is all well formed. It provides standardized and context-rich information, and you can leverage your Lobster infrastructure just to go on with all the processes you want. So what are your real benefits? Your real benefits are rapid deployment. As I said, if you want to participate from our solution, we can just leverage your Lobster data world. We plug seamlessly into it, and you don't have any overhead in the development phase. We automate your manual workflows. We don't want to eliminate all the humans that work at your company, but we want to provide them more time. We want them to focus on the real things, on the hard things, and we don't want them to paste any information from left to right. What we also do, we take all your things and transform it into actionable and accurate data. So you can rely on that we will produce high quality structured data for all your processes that follow the incoming email. And we accelerate the time, because all the things that happen afterwards are purpose-built for Lobster's canonical data model. So if we as Innoflow provide the Lobster canonical data model, everything that happens after can be triggered very easy. How can you contact us? So the easiest thing would be to scan the QR code I'll provide you. You can also contact us via email or via phone, but for us it would be the nicest thing if you come and say hi, just meet us out there at the partner world. We can talk about your ideas, we can share some ideas, some thoughts, and we are not also restricted to these things. So what we do, as I said, we care about unstructured data. So if we think about any logistics operational processes where you deal with unstructured data, just approach us, we will deal with it, we will make up our minds, and then we can have a nice chat. Thank you for sticking by and for your attention.